Get ready and relax as we go through the lives of these amazing athletes who have proved that some sports stars can be financially wise despite the high rate of bankruptcy that's characterized the sector. These athletes are extremely rich, but they live like the average Joe. So, how do you achieve the humble lifestyle despite being millionaires? How are they able to transcend the lure of extravagant lifestyles and showcase financial security? Come with us on this exciting journey. Number 15. Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, is worth about $200 million, which is more than enough to live as lavishly as he wants. But clearly, that's not what Rodgers wants. He's quite happy and comfortable living a simple lifestyle. He avoids expensive grocery stores but gets his stuff from his local grocery shop. He's known to mow his lawn by himself, refusing to hire anyone to do it. His house is nowhere as sophisticated as those of most of his teammates. He doesn't eat at fancy restaurants where people spend hundreds of dollars, but eats at simple restaurants that are very affordable. Number 14. Daniel Bryan. If you're a wrestling lover, you probably know this guy, Daniel Bryan. A former World Heavyweight Champion and one of the headliners for WrestleMania is worth about $12 million. While his career didn't last long due to an injury, he was able to make a name for himself and make some money too. Bryan doesn't live in a mansion with his wrestler wife, Brie Bella, who is also a well-paid athlete. This guy saves the wrapping paper when he receives a gift when it's possible so he can reuse it. He loves growing his own food and getting his own fuel. His wife shares the same money principle with him, which borders on waste not and want not ideology. I bet you not many of us can resist splashing our wealth. He's been called cheapskate, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's quite refreshing to know that some athletes are strict with their wealth. What's your take on managing wealth? Do you think you have to be frugal to maintain your millionaire status? Please let us know in the comments as we continue with this amazing list. Number 13. Alfred Morris. Alfred Morris, who began his NFL career in 2012, is another name on the list who affirms not every wealthy fellow is extravagant. When he got picked by the NFL, he had the opportunity to buy luxury cars, mansions, and whatnot, but he didn't go down that path. He continued to be modest to the point of keeping his 1991 Mazda 626, which he calls his Bentley. He became a professional driving this car, which he bought from a pastor for $2. To keep it in good shape, the football star refurbished the car and added some perks like leather seating, a super sound system, and a backup camera. This car alone sums up his frugal nature, which has kept him happy, focused, and not at the risk of bankruptcy. Talk about being wise with your money. Number 12. Rob Gronkowski. Rob Gronkowski's financial wisdom is something that's much talked about. According to Celebrity Net Worth, the iconic tight end is worth about $45 million in 2023, and though retired, he's shown frivolous spending isn't his thing. During his career, he didn't touch his signing bonus of the NFL contract money. He lived solely on his endorsement proceeds and saved the rest of his money. Growing up with 3 brothers and wearing clothes that were hand-me-downs, he carried on with the practice even after getting rich, to the extent he wears his clothes till they're unwearable. According to him, he could wear a pair of jeans for 7 days straight, washing them on day 3 to maintain hygiene. If I like the clothing, if I like the shoes, I'll wear those shoes and I'll wear that clothing down to the rags. Gronkowski told Maverick Carter during an interview on Uninterrupted's Kneading Dough podcast. He affirmed this stance in an interview he had with CNBC Make It. I'm not a big shopping guy, I'm just not interested in clothes. To me, it seems like a complete waste of money. I just want to have enough clothes to cover legally what parts I have to cover. Gronkowski is a funny guy. Number 11. Kawhi Leonard. If you saw Kawhi Leonard driving on the street, you'd never imagine he's one of the biggest shots in the NBA. Way back in 2015, the San Antonio Spurs signed a 5-year contract of $90 million, but he's not one to become lavish in his spendings. During summers, he was said to stay in a 2-bedroom apartment in California and drive a 20-year-old rehabbed 97 Chevy Tahoe, nicknamed Gas Guzzler. According to Mark Ziegler of the San Diego Union Tribune, Leonard started driving the Chevy as a teenager and drove it 8 years into his NBA career, finally dropping it in 2019. Despite his millionaire status, Leonard still clips coupons and was reported to have had a panic attack when he lost a Wingstop coupon booklet for free chicken wings. Wingstop, which Leonard sponsors, happily replenished his coupon booklet so he can continue to enjoy his free chicken wings. Kawhi Leonard is one rich NBA star who isn't interested in the glamour that comes with the job. He's just a typical average Joe. By the way, take a moment to hit the like button and subscribe. Thanks for doing that. Number 10. Prince Amukamara. Being thrifty doesn't mean you're a tightwad. It's all about being financially prudent, cutting excesses. New York Giants cornerback Prince Amukamara's net worth stands at $46 million, but he's an example of an athlete who isn't carried away by his huge bank account. Coming from a Nigerian royal bloodline, you wouldn't know he's royal because he's just like an average Joe. Way back in 2011, just after exiting Cornhuskers for NFL, he tweeted that he was looking at getting a good deal at Husker Auto. He headed for the used car section and got himself a well-bargained SUV and opted to pay cash, thereby getting it for a lower price. According to him, he prefers spending money on what he needs rather than what he wants. He told Redditors on an Ask Me Anything session that the most common mistakes rookies make is spending their money on wants and not needs. He explained that his favorite place to hang out is In-N-Out Burger, where meals are around $10. But it's worth noting that Amukamara once spent $10,000 decorating a Nebraska high school football team. So he's being prudent with his money most times. Number 9. LeBron James. LeBron James is on this list because he's one of the richest NBA players who applies wisdom to his spending. Knowing tomorrow is important. Granted, he does drive luxury cars like Rolls-Royce Cullinan, Lamborghini Aventador Roadster, Ferrari 458 Spider, Porsche 918 Spider, and a Mercedes Maybach 575, but he's prudent with his money, investing in movies, wellness, sports ownership, and restaurants, which continue to yield him profits. Also, LeBron is known for his philanthropy, donating millions to charities every year. However, he's been called a cheapskate. During an interview with Rachel Nichols of ESPN in 2017, LeBron's former Miami Heat teammate Dwayne Wade called him the cheapest man in the NBA. LeBron didn't counter him. That is so falsely true, LeBron said. I'm not turning on data roaming. I'm not buying no apps. I still got Pandora with commercials, he added. During an Instagram live session, his teammates Jared Dudley and Alex Caruso also called him the cheapest guy in the NBA. According to Dudley, LeBron avoids picking up tabs at restaurants, to which Caruso concurred. "He's cheap, bro," Caruso said. "That's one thing people don't realize. Rich people, bro, they want to keep their money." You can see how far LeBron, who's made up to $1 billion in his profession, goes to save some bucks. Let us know in the comments your thoughts on LeBron's stance on taking tabs at restaurants. And just look at the next star on our list and his crazy money-saving skills. Number 8. Carmelo Anthony. One of Carmelo Anthony's famous statements on his frugality got people stunned. "I go to the supermarket, make sure I get the newspaper and tear the coupons. Save $1 or $2, the New York's Knicks star once told Denver's CBS 4 in 2011. Anthony, who's currently worth about $160 million, described how people looked at him confused as to why a multimillionaire was getting coupons from a newspaper to save a few cents on groceries. He explained his behavior by saying, "I'm human too." He's one rich sports star that's humble. Number 7. Darius Hayward-Bay. Back in 2009, Sports Illustrated published a startling statistic. By the time they've been retired for 2 years, 78% of former NFL players have gone bankrupt or are under financial stress because of joblessness or divorce. This finding went viral and helped wise athletes to be wiser. Darius is one such wise athlete. The Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver, who's currently worth $14 million, also earned up to $38 million in salary during his active years. He's well known for his frugal nature. He told ESPN during a 2016 interview that he saved most of his money by placing himself on a budget. His accountant mother helped him put his finances in order, placing him on an allowance. "I grew up knowing what to spend and what not to spend," he said in an interview. "It's easy when you don't have money to not spend. That's how I grew up." He even canceled his cable during football season every year when he wouldn't be home to watch it. "I keep things real simple," he said. "I'm not really a flashy guy. I understand what I want to buy. I invest my money well and pay my taxes." However, he declined sharing the exact figures of his allowance. He told ESPN that the pit keeps growing because he doesn't spend much of that money. Financial wisdom can really save a lot of rich folks from future bankruptcy. Number 6. John Urschel. John Urschel, former NFL player, earned as much as $1.8 million over just 3 seasons with the Baltimore Ravens. He was 26 when he retired in 2017, but he wasn't the type to showcase his wealth. In fact, we know that while he earned as much as $600,000 in 2016, he chose to live on a $25,000 per year budget, driving a used Nissan Versa that he bought for $9,000. What this meant was Urschel was living on just 4% of his salary in 2016, saving as much as 96% of the rest. According to him, he didn't survive on a modest $25,000 per year and drive a used car because I'm frugal or trying to save for some big purchase. It's because the things I love the most in this world, reading, math, doing research, playing chess, are very, very inexpensive. Urschel, who completed his PhD at MIT, focused on matrix analysis and computations, is now a math professor at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, one of the 16 new faculty members in MIT's School of Science for the fall 2023 semester. While he played at the NFL, he quietly pursued his PhD in mathematics. He was wise to think of the next thing he would do after retiring from football. His net worth is currently $1.5 million. Number 5. Joe Flacco. When Joe Flacco signed a 6-year contract with the Baltimore Ravens in 2013, he became the highest-paid NFL player at the time. The quarterback was reported to have celebrated his signing in an unexpected manner at the Golden Arches. Armed with a $29 million signing bonus and the promise of a total of $52 million guaranteed over the life of the contract, Flacco rolled down his window at the McDonald's drive-thru in Aberdeen, Maryland, after ordering a 10-piece McNugget meal with fries and an unsweetened iced tea for $6.99. ESPN reported in 2013. With a net worth of $85 million in 2023, Flacco is one rich sports star who believes in living the simple life. Number 4. Jordy Nelson. Jordy Nelson from Kansas is a legendary NFL receiver who's known for his average Joe lifestyle. Nelson, who's made as much as $56 million in his NFL career, is known by his teammates to be extremely cheap, as they put it. "Oh, I'm extremely cheap," Nelson once said on the Dan Le Batard Show in 2015. Even now in the NFL on road trips, we get a per diem to go out and have dinner with everyone, like with the receivers or whatnot. I'll just stay in the hotel, wait until snack at 9 o'clock to eat dinner, and not pay for food. Le Batard was naturally taken aback and asked Nelson if he was actually hoarding the per diem and living off the team's snacks. Nelson simply replied, "Yeah." Nelson's father, Alan, confirmed his son's frugal nature, which he claimed was a family thing when he gave some details about his son's financial management as published in a 2014 Sports Illustrated feature, where Tim Layden narrated what Nelson's father said. "Jordy has filthy money, but look at the property he bought. It's got junk equipment, trees that need trimming," Alan said. "He'll deal with it when he gets home. He's not going to hire somebody to do it," he added. Number 3. Kirk Cousins. This list cannot be complete without adding Kirk Cousins' name. Cousins, who was earning $24 million a year, spent his summers in his parents' basement with his wife Julie. The NFL star usually moved to a warmer climate during the first few months of the year, and the basement of his parents' home in Michigan was the ideal. "It works well," he told Clay Skipper of GQ. "We don't pay rent." This is coming from an athlete who became the highest-paid NFL player in 2018 when he signed a historic $84 million deal with the Minnesota Vikings. Even after his parents moved to Florida, the ritual didn't change. The quarterback did his workouts in his parents' driveway during coronavirus. You can see too much money didn't change his vacation ideals. Cousins also continued to drive a 15-year-old van. A 2000 GMC Savannah conversion van he bought from his grandma for $5,000, which he called the Gray Ghost or Gandalf the Grey. The van, which he eventually stopped driving in 2018, made headlines when he drove it to practice during his time in Washington, D.C. He also had a 2006 Mercedes S65 AMG as of 2017. "It's better to buy appreciating than depreciating," Cousins once told Wall Street Journal's Kevin Clark in 2016. No yachts, no sports car. Cousins made sure he was financially stable before finally buying a lakefront property with his wife, where they're building a 4-bedroom home. Cousins understands very well that any careless spending can be disastrous no matter how fat your salary might be as a sports star. You don't know how long you're gonna play. You've got to save every dollar even though you're making a good salary. You never know what's gonna happen. "So I try to put as much money away as I can," he told Clark. Number 2. Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper is a sports figure who made headlines when he signed a 13-year contract worth $330 million with the Philadelphia Phillies in 2019, which was the second biggest in baseball history. The 6-time All-Star, who was with the Washington Nationals until 2018, continues to live a simple lifestyle. He loves riding his bicycle and loves going to this restaurant where the food is super affordable. He became so regular that the restaurant recognized him and awarded him free burritos for life. That's hilarious. Number 1. Daniel Norris. Known as the pitcher who lived in a van, a fact that shocked many after he signed a $2 million contract with the Toronto Blue Jays in 2011 in the second round of the MLB draft. But that didn't seem to bother Norris, who's from Johnson City, Tennessee, as he was happy living in his old Volkswagen bus from where he slept, ate, and relaxed. His love for nature makes him a sort of clean hippie, his fellow teammates once said. He usually spent his free time cruising at night, enjoying nature's beauty in all its simplicity. This young millionaire loves hiking, surfing, photography, and virtually anything that's connected to the outdoors. Looking at him, one would see a young man at ease with himself, in love with nature and life in general. According to him, people have allowed technology to distract them from other important things. Technology can blind us from what really matters in the world, like love and balance, he once said. During off-seasons, he drove out to the nearest Walmart and did pull-ups on their cart racks. He's been described as always upbeat and cheery, who hardly gets mad over anything. According to the soft-spoken Norris, when he got signed by Toronto Blue Jays as an 18-year-old out of high school, he ran to God for strength. "I prayed, 'God, please don't let the money change me,' he said. 'I was 18 and I hadn't seen a lot of the world, but I've seen what money does to people. It makes them into something that they're not.'" When Norris didn't go to Clemson University on a scholarship for a pro bonus, he didn't take the money and disappear. He took the money and gave it to those he felt needed assistance. He donated money to the Central Church of Christ in his hometown. He also gave money to travel teams he played for and took care of his parents. He didn't go for diamonds or gold. He wore simple clothes, no designers. He didn't go for any real estate or golf membership. His anti-materialism tendency comes from family and personal philosophy. His famous van is a rusty but roadworthy 1978 Volkswagen minibus, which he called Shaggy, in homage to Scooby-Doo. "The van has a way of focusing you," Norris said at the time. "If you have anything in excess, it's just too crowded, too hectic." Do you agree with Norris's money philosophy? Tell us in the comment section, and thanks for watching.